Okay, so just moving on to the main part of the exercise in this group of exercises. So I've still got my support to hold on to if I need it. If you have some weights handy, you could utilise those. If you don't have weights, you could use tins of beans, bags of sugar, bottles of water, or you don't have to use weights, but they're just an option if you've got them handy. I've also got a step on this side, which I'm going to utilise later, so I'll have that handy as well. Okay, so we've just done the warm-up, so all our muscles are nicely warmed up, heart, circulation, lungs, everything ready for the exercise. Just remember, when we're doing this part of the exercise, it's important just to work at what we class as a moderate intensity, which means you should feel like you are exerting yourself, getting warm is fine, breathing heavier, deeper, muscles working, all those sort of things are good. You should always make sure you can talk in short sentences though. So if you get to the point where your breathing is getting a bit gaspy, then you need to slow down. And if you need to slow down, I'd suggest you just come back to doing this, just some gentle marching on the spot, or even slower, just lifting your heels like that. Until you get your breath back, then you can carry on. Okay, so we're going to split the exercises into what we class as cardiovascular exercises, which are pulse raisers, which make you feel like you're working harder, and recovery exercises, which are a little bit lower intensity. You're still exercising at a good level. We'll be doing a bit of strength work in those, and we'll be doing roughly about a minute on each. Okay, all right. So let's start with a pulse raiser, shall we? So we're going to keep in this position, but we're going to do some knee raises. So you can keep your hand on the support. We introduce these in the warm-up. We're just going to lift them a bit higher now. So you're lifting straight up in front, keeping your knee at a 90-degree angle. If I just show you that direction. In a nice pace going. Good. If that's quite easy, you can add in some movements on the other arm. What I would suggest is try the exercises without the arm first. If that's easy, next time add in the arm movements. If that's still easy, next time add the arm movements in with a small weight. Okay, but always keep mindful throughout the exercise of how you're feeling. Good. Should definitely getting a bit warmer now. It's quite warm in our gym and I'm getting quite warm now. Excuse the glow. Good. So we're coming up to about a minute on this. In between each exercise, we're just going to go back to some marching. Good. Lovely. If you get tired during the exercise, you can also take your knees a little bit lower, like that. You don't have to keep going to the same level. Okay, good. That's about a minute on there, so we're going to go back to our marching. Now the next exercise we're going to do is a recovery exercise. So I'm going to show you with the weights for this one. You need to keep your feet moving, and you need to keep your feet moving throughout this section of the exercise. Okay? If your balance isn't great, when we're doing arm exercises but keeping your feet moving, you can just go to lifting your heels like that. Okay, but I'm going to show you marching. So I'm going to start off with a bicep curl. So take your weights if you can manage them. If not, do them without weights. Elbows into your side, and we're just going to bend arms up to the collarbone and then down. Now you want to be nice and slow and smooth with these. Like I said, if your balance isn't very good, you could just tap your toes like that, but you do need to keep your feet moving at all times. So up and down. If you can do it with one arm and not the other, you can just do it with one arm as well. Or if your balance isn't very good and you really need to hold on to something, you can do it with one arm as well. So try and modify it to how it works best for you. Okay, so we're going to do about a minute of this. The key is to go quite slowly, because it's tempting just to chuck the weights up and down, but then you don't really get the benefit of the strengthening movements. Good. you're getting tired, you can drop your weights down, or you can just do smaller movements as well. Okay, that's approximately a minute on there. I'm using the phone on the time on my iPhone, so I can't see it very well, so it's roughly a minute. Okay, lovely. So we're going to put the weights down now, and we're going to carry on marching our feet. Okay, good. Hope you're feeling all right. Just check in with your breathing. And we're going to do another pulse raiser now. So I think we're going to grab the step for this one. So you keep your feet moving, marching. Okay, get your step in position. Okay, so hopefully you've got it handy. You can put one hand on the wall or on a chair if it's handy. And there's two different ways to do your step ups as well. If you haven't got a step handy, you could go to your bottom step and do your step ups on there, same sort of thing. So you can step up and down, in which case you're stepping both feet firmly on the step and stepping back off like that. Make sure you're getting your foot right on the step and you're not stepping on the edge of it. You can lead with whichever leg you like, and you can change whenever you want. So if one leg's getting tired, you could change and lead with the other leg. Another option you can do with your step ups, if you have one bad leg and one good leg, you can lead with the good leg to take the pressure off your bad leg. So in this case, if my bad leg was a problem, if my left leg was a problem, I could go up with the right, tap the left one on, and then down with the left and bring the right down. So it's a bit of a different kind of technique of doing it. It works just as well for your heart, so it's a good form to do, and if it takes pressure off a bad knee or a bad hip, then you can carry on for longer. The other way with your step is just to tap your feet on and off. So if you're struggling to actually get up and down off a step, just tapping your feet on and off like that. Okay, so we're going to do stepping for about a minute. So stepping up, stepping down. If you get tired, you can go back to just tapping your toes on the floor. Step ups are a very good form of cardiovascular exercise. Going up and down your stairs is a very good form of exercise. So if you have stairs at home, going up and down your stairs a bit more often a day can add in those extra bits of fitness that we need. We recommend that you do around about 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity cardiovascular work. So that can be spread out however you want. It works out at about 5 times a week of 30 minutes, but you can split it up into 10-minute bursts, 20-minute bursts, however you like. So things like going up and down your stairs can just add in those extra bits of activity that we need to reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease. Okay, good. So we're just coming to the end of our minute now. Lovely. And we're going to go back to marching. I'll just pop that out the way again. Lovely. So back to marching. So that should have raised your breathing a bit. You can probably hear my breathing's a little bit heavier now, but it's not too heavy. So hopefully yours is the same. If you are feeling puffed out, remember you can just go back to tapping your toes, lifting your heels, something like that, just to get your breath back. Okay, good, well done. So we're going to go on to another active recovery. So I'm going to grab the weights again, like this, good. And we're going to carry on marching feet while we just hold the weights. Now the next thing we're going to do is some punches out in front. Okay, so I'm actually going to go back to some heel digs again, just nice and gently. Lift the weights up to shoulder level, and I'm going to punch out in front, nice and controlled, straightening the arms without locking the elbows. Stretching out in front, good. If it's too hard with the weights, please just do it without weights. If it's still too hard, you can do lower punches, like that. So whatever works for you. I'm going to do about a minute on this as well. Remember, nice and controlled. With all your weighted movements like this, if you do them too fast, you're kind of depending on momentum rather than actually using your muscles efficiently. So it's much better to do them nice, slow and controlled, and it protects your joints. Good. Lovely. If you can't manage that because of your balance, the other thing is to just, like I said before, just keep your toes tapping up and down like that. So without moving too much. If your balance is poor and you need to hold on to something, pop a hand on the chair and just do one at a time. So do half a minute on one arm and then half a minute on the other. Okay, lovely, that's about a minute. So we're going to pop our weights down again and just go back to marching. Lovely. Now the next exercise we do, you're going to need to turn you're going to need to use your chair. So I'm going to turn my chair around in this position so you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to come round the front here. Oops. So we're going to do a sit to stand exercise. Okay, so you're going to have the chair behind you, so you can just feel it on the backs of your legs there. And what we're going to do is literally sit down and stand up. If you need a bit of support to sit down and stand up, it'd be better to use a chair with arms. If not, if you can do it without using the arms of the chair, then it will work your muscles better. So we're just going to sit down and stand up. Sit down. Now this looks easier than it is. It does work your muscles very hard. As I say, if you need to use your hands to push up a little bit, you can. That's fine. Lovely. If it's actually a little bit easy, you can actually take your hands up a little bit as you sit and stand. Okay, so whichever method is best for you. Good. Remember to watch your posture. So when I sit down, I'm not slumping in a heap. I'm keeping my tummy pulled in and my back straight. And trying to sit for a short length of time as possible. Don't get too comfy when you sit down. Good. I can definitely feel this working. Hope you can too. Sometimes when you're working muscles and you haven't worked them for a while, then you might find that you ache a little bit afterwards. So sometimes the next day, even possibly the day after that, you might feel a bit of ache in your thigh muscles. And that just means you've strengthened them up. It's actually a good sign to have a little bit of a feeling in them afterwards. Good. Keep going. We're just coming towards the end of the minute. Good. Sometimes feels like a long minute, doesn't it? Good. Okay, lovely. All right, and then back to marching again. I'll just move the chair back out the way. Keep marching on the spot. Lovely. Good. So you probably feel a little bit out of breath now, but it should be controlled. If you're really huffing and puffing, remember to just go back to those little heel raises. But if you're talking like me, then that's absolutely fine. Okay, so we're going to move on to another active recovery exercise now. So I'm going to get the weights back again. Lovely. Remember, only use these if you feel capable and comfortable to do so. We're going to do some arm lifts out to the side now. So again, there's different ways of doing this. If your balance is a bit off, you might want to just lift your toes, lift your heels a little bit to keep your feet moving. If you can manage to march, then do that. Now you can lift your arms up to the horizontal and down. So this is probably the hardest version. Taking your arms straight out to the side and down. Remember, it should be nice and controlled, nice and slow. Get those muscles working. If that's uncomfortable, you could pop the weights down and do the same exercise without the weights. If that's still a bit uncomfortable, you can do a smaller angle of movement. So just some half arms up to the side. Good. If that's still a bit uncomfortable, another option is to put your hands on your collarbone and just lift your elbows out like that. It's a shorter lever, so it makes that exercise a little bit easier. Okay. Good. So I'm going to keep on doing that. about a minute. Good. Lovely, I'm definitely getting warm now. Okay, good, lovely. Let's just pop that down and back to your marching again. Well done. Okay, so we're going to go back to another pulse raiser, another cardiovascular exercise now. The next exercise we're going to do is some side steps. All right, so you've got your support to hold on to. So I'll show you facing this way, but you can do it obviously holding on with both hands, but I don't want to have the chair in front of me when I show you this. So we're going to just step side to side, holding onto your support like that. Good. And we're going to add in a little arm movement. So up in front, side stepping side to side. If you have to use both hands on the chair to hold on, obviously please do that. Otherwise, just stepping side to side. Bend a little bit when you tap your foot in. You might find your coordination feels a bit difficult when these exercises are new. The pathways in your brain aren't up to scratch, so things feel really weird. So don't worry about getting things exactly right. This is all about just getting your heart rate up, getting that heart working harder, getting it more healthy. Good. If it's too hard to lift the arms straight up in front, you can make it a shorter movement by just doing some bicep curls. So you can modify these however you want to make them the right level for you. You might want to make it a little bit harder by adding in a little kick at the back as well. You'll need pretty good balance for this, so if you don't feel capable, just stick to your side movements. Okay, good. Lovely. Just coming to the end of the minute there. Great stuff, and back to some marching again. Lovely. Okay, back to our active recovery now. So we need the weights again. Grab them. So keeping marching. Okay, and we're going to do some triceps now. So taking your arms behind. Okay. So if you need to hold onto the chair, you're going to hold onto the chair and do one at a time. So you're going to take one arm back, hold it, and then bring it forward and bend up. One arm back. If you can do both together, you can do both together. If your balance won't allow that, then please hold on to the chair. Watching your posture, keeping your tummy in, back straight, head up, watching your breathing. Okay, so we're going to do about a minute of that. We've done about half a minute on that side, so we're going to do half a minute on this side, but if you're doing both together, just carry on. Good, lovely, and popping your weights down, well done. Okay, good, and back to some marching. All right, we're just going to finish off with a little bit of faster marching. Okay, this is going to be our last pulse raiser today. So make sure you're safe, hold on to your support, and only go at the right speed for you. But what I'm going to do is just pick the pace up a little bit. Swinging arms a bit, see if we can get the pulse up a little bit with this movement. Okay, if you don't need to hold on, you can use both hands, but if you do, please hold on. You can also hold on with both hands as well. We're just getting that pace going a little bit. Good. Okay, good, and just slowing it down again, back to your normal marching pace. Well done. Okay, we're going to do one more recovery exercise and then we're going to go down to the cool down. Okay, so the last recovery exercise we're going to do, I just want you to hold on to the chair with both hands for this one, and we're just going to kick up behind, just nice and slowly. Okay, so nice and slow, bringing your pulse down a little bit, but still working those hamstrings. Okay, good. Well done. So that's the end of the exercise. So you've done about 20 minutes of exercise there, so well done. And now we'll go into the cool down.